What an absolute mare, lads and lasses. How's it going, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United. Hope you're having a good one. What a shit show, man. Oh my days, what a festering turd of a second half that was from United. Thank you very much for joining me for the post-match show. Where do I begin? I mean, United have just drawn 1-1 with Everton away at Goodison Park, dropping 2 points there, failing to capitalise on Chelsea doing the same thing yesterday. It's an absolute bloody nightmare. The annoying thing is, the only reason we bloody lost that game is because David De Gea turned into some sort of absolute bloody Massimo Taibi-esque melter at the start of the game and literally gifted Calvert-Lewin the opening goal. I've never seen anything like it in my life from a top-class goalkeeper, man. I mean, he's putting the David name to, Calamity David James would be bloody proud of him, I tell you. Unbelievably bad goalkeeping error at the start of the game there. Very disappointing from David De Gea. We were hoping these errors were going to be scuppered out of his game, For 5-6 years, he's shown himself to be one of the best keepers in the world, and then the last year, he's making bloody Mark Bosnich-style errors all over the guy's having a mare, man. Come on, David De Gea, mate. I mean, I've got no excuses for that one. Put us up against it right from the off. Nice one, David. We started the game very poorly because of that. After that, they had another incident straight away, and United absolutely performed after the first 5 minutes of the game. The first half was a really good performance by United. We controlled it, we dominated it, we got back into it, we're taking the game to Everton after they had the first couple of chances, and De Gea's gifted Calvert-Lewin that peach of a chance and that goal. We dominated the first half, and I was expecting United to come out and really do the same in the second half. Shout out to Bruno Fernandez, he got us that goal. Classy goal. Nemanja Matic had a great game today as well, I thought. Played him in for the goal. Bruno outside of the boot, curled to the bottom low left-hand corner of Jordan Pickford's goal. Great goal, but not good enough from United today. Not good enough from the lads out there. Bitterly disappointed, frustrated. You can't put in that sort of second half performance there. We've dropped 2 points here. It's a mare. It's a calamity. We got City coming up, next. You can't expect to take anything from that game at the moment. I know Ollie's done well against Pep Guardiola City this season in general, but you can't expect to take anything from that game. So this was a must-win game for Manchester United tonight. We had to win it, and we didn't do that. It's piss poor in the end. So, paint it whichever way you want to paint it. Sure, Everton are a good team right now. If there's any, blue Scouse toffees in here tuning in right now, fair play, We should have chewed them up and spat them out like bloody toffees. In the end, they made us look like bloody sticky toffee puddings out there. Stuck in the mud that second half. Really poor display from us. What can I say? I mean, I was expecting Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to have administered some changes at half-time. In the end, he probably did do that, and we shouldn't have done that, because the first half performance, the way we were going about it, was good. It was the second half performance that was poor, and we changed up, and it wasn't working, and we couldn't get at them, and Everton actually bullied us at times in that second half. They had us hemmed in. They're having corner after corner after corner after corner. Free kicks galore. Sigurdsson's whipping them in. Bainesy's whipping them in. It was very dangerous stuff that second half, and absolutely piss poor from Manchester United, not helped by the fact of that prick referee being one of the worst in the industry, one of the worst in the game, one of the most awful referees you're ever likely to see. I mean, he's giving Everton free kicks on the edge of the area for phantom hand balls. Fred trying to touch, didn't even touch the ball with his hand, giving him the free kick. Loads of incidents. He sent Carlo Ancelotti at the end of the game off for saying after the full-time whistle for going over and saying, "What are you doing? You're shit, mate." And he sent Carlo Ancelotti off at the end of the game. He was a disgrace, that referee. He ruined the spectacle of that game out there for me. But anyway, in the end, actually, the officiant, in the end, the VAR is what's actually saved Manchester United in this game. It's what's actually got us a point in this game and stopped us from losing the game entirely. Because at the end of the game, they stuck the ball in the back of the net. And thankfully for us, it was ruled out after checking VAR, because Sigurdsson's on the ground. He's not influencing play in the sense of he doesn't have a touch of the ball or anything like that, but he's in an offside position, and he is affecting play because he's stopping David De Gea's vision of the ball coming towards him. So it's the correct decision. It was ruled out. But in the end, United having to rely on VAR again not to lose that game. And a couple of years ago, without that VAR, nobody would notice that. Really, that would have just been classed as a goal. So I think that United, in the end, we're very fortunate, very lucky to actually get a point on the board today. And if you look at the league table, it's piss poor that we didn't make up ground on Chelsea. It's piss poor we didn't make up, a further gap between us and Spurs. Well, we did actually. We got a point above because Spurs lost to Wolves. Have some of that, Jose. But either way, and Henry Hotspur, you bell. But either way, you know, it's not good enough for United. We could have really cemented ourselves as, you know, being realistic for top 5 with a win against Everton at Goodison today. In the end, all we've done is a classic United melt job in that second half and gift an opportunity to Everton to stay in it, not capitalise on catching Chelsea up, and also not capitalise on getting further ahead of the likes of Wolves, the likes of Tottenham. We've had a bloody nightmare today, we truly have. And like I say, City coming up against us next. What's going to happen in that game? Are we going to get the 3 points of that game? There's massive pressure on that game. We don't need that pressure. Sure, Solskjaer's done the good stuff against City this season in general. But crikey, I'll tell you what, it's not a game you want to have to win. But let's have a look at the league table, lads and lasses, because, you know, in terms of what it's actually changed in the league table, it's not changed an entire huge amount. I mean, that Wolves beating Spurs, that was a 6 point of them. They've actually rocketed themselves above Spurs now on the same points as United. So United are still 3 points behind Chelsea because they drew yesterday with Bournemouth. United drew with Everton today, so we've stayed 3 points behind Chelsea. We're still in 5th, so not much has changed there. Apart from now, Wolves are breathing down our necks. They're on the same points as us. We're only ahead by goal difference. Tottenham are 2 points behind us now. Sheffield United 2 points behind us now. Shame to see them outside the European spaces. They do have a game in hand. I want Sheffield United to qualify for Europe, absolutely. But I tell you what, Wolves, man, what a team. What a team they are. They've gone away to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and turned over Spurs there 3-2. I know Spurs that was Son, Kane, but even so, Wolves are a really great team, you know. Nuno's obviously a very good manager. He's doing good stuff with them in Europa League as well. They're right in with a shout of a top 5 chance, on the same points as United in 5th right now. So we haven't done ourselves any favours really with the teams behind us. It could have been worse though, because like I say, United could have bottled it up at the end there if not for VAR. Please do us a favour if you're tuning into this live stream, lads and lasses. Thank you very much for stopping by the way. There's a bunch of you in here already. Thank you very much for stopping by. Please do us a favour, smash a little like on this video, give it a thumbs up. Let's see if we can smash 100 likes on it by the end of the stream. So if you could leave a thumbs up, that'd be awesome. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about the overall individual team performance then. So the back line, I mean, David De Gea, you've had an absolute shithouse mare, son. What are you doing? What are you doing? Who's our new goalkeeping coach? It must be Calamity David James himself. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I cannot understand what sort of, what led David De Gea to think that keeping hold of the ball that long and not even seeing Calvert-Lewin wading in there. I cannot understand it, what went through his head there. There's a simple little pass to a defender. He can hoof it up the pitch, or he can do what he did and gift them a goal. I mean, it was Bruce Grobbelaar-esque. I was thinking, hang on, there's no possible way he's actually done. Is David De Gea on the take? Is David De Gea being bunged some money to try and fix this result or something? That's the only way that I could, you know, imagine him actually doing something like that. It was that ridiculous. That ridiculous. So, David De Gea, mate, you know, he made a great save at the end of the game there, just before that goal was ruled out for VAR, and also helped, you know, keep us the point in the end. So I'm not going to give him a totally awful rating, but in all honesty, man, you know, like, that, you can't do that, David De Gea. You can't make errors like that and give us an uphill battle from the off in games. You can't do that. So to me, he's going to get a 5 out of 10 today. He's made some great saves throughout the game. That's why he's managed to claw it back to 5, because that was literally an awful thing to do at the start of that game. And then let's talk about the back line then. You know, Victor Lindelof, he's just not a United quality player. How many errors does this guy make? How many times is he out of position? How many times does he get beaten physically? How many times does he get beaten in the air? Victor Lindelof is not United quality, in my opinion. You know? I don't get that from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, actually. We got Eric Bailly waiting in the wings, shown a little bit of good partnership with Harry Maguire. Both physical, both great in the air, both beasts. Really looked good together, could have the potential to build up that quality centre-back partnership, yet he still perseveres with Lindelof. And don't get me wrong, Lindelof's a decent player, he really is, but when you got the choice of Lindelof and Bailey, definitely go for Bailey. It's just a no-brainer. He's a much better all-round defender, in my opinion. Apart from maybe the ball-playing aspect, Lindelof's great on the ball. Other than that, as a defender, Bailey every single time. So Lindelof, I thought, was a bit poor throughout. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but there was a couple of moments that were very dodgy from him. I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10 as well. Harry Maguire, Slabby Maguire. I actually thought Slabby's done a very good job today. The amount of corners that Everton had in that second half, whipping ball after ball after ball after ball in. And Harry Maguire is usually the man to clear it away, you know. I thought he's done a very good job today, plus the covering that he did at times was great. And he generally performed well and read most incidences very well at the back. Couple of ropey moments, but he made up for them. So to me, he's going to get a solid 7 out of 10 from Captain Slabby Maguire at the back there. Fair play to him. Right back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, the right back for Manchester United, today he's been faultless all season long. Brilliant all-round performance from him all season long. But today left a lot to be desired from Aaron Wan-Bissaka. A poor day at the office for him. The amount of joy they had down their left-hand side going up against Aaron Wan-Bissaka in that position. The amount of times they got him behind it was just atrocious. Aaron Wan-Bissaka had a day to forget. Not a good performance from him whatsoever. I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. That's definitely the lowest score I've ever given him. I think he's probably not really been sub 6 for this whole entire season. But in this game, that's what he's going to get. Over on the other side, Luke Shaw, I thought he's done a reasonable enough job, actually. Solid, all-round, didn't really make too many errors. Decent going forward, going to give him a 6. Let's talk about the midfield then, lads and lasses, and then we will delve into your comments and see what you guys think more a little bit about the game. Fred in the centre of the park there, frustrated, got a yellow card at the end there, not his best or performance, giving the ball away a little bit. Has looked fantastic recently. We really struggled in that game to find the fluidity in midfield there. Whether it was Bruno, whether it was Fred, whether it was Matic, we did struggle throughout the game. But I thought Fred it was a bang average sort of a performance, to be fair, so I'm going to give him a 5 or a 6. Matic next to him, the Serbian Frankenstein's monster, aka the Serbian tank, popping up and putting in a decent performance. First half was brilliant from the manager Matic. Come on. Controlling things. Cool as a cucumber on the ball. Had a couple of strikes on goal. Worked Jordan Pickford both times. He had a hand in Bruno Fernandez's goal, playing the forward pass, the assist. So fair play to the manager Matic. One ropey game the last time out. But other than that, he has had a fantastic little run. To me, the manager Matic and Fred is the partnership for the centre of the midfield. Play them in behind Bruno until maybe we can get a better defensive midfielder in the summer, like an Ndidi or someone. That seems to be the preferred thing that we could do right now. But Matic, to me, good solid performance from him. Probably the highest rated player so far. 7.5 from me for the manager Matic. What do you guys think? Am I talking cod shit? Or, get your thoughts and opinions in. Let's talk about the rest of the team then. So, Anthony Martial up top. Just going to go up the top of the pitch here. I thought he's pretty much out the game for the majority of it, really. Didn't do a whole lot. Movement a little bit off. Maybe not the same wavelength for players like Bruno and stuff. Bitterly disappointing, really. But, maybe didn't get as much of the service as he should have done. But to me, Martial is another one of those passenger-esque performances from him. And he's not had too many of them recently. He's been popping up with brilliant goals, popping up with big goals for United, and doing the business for us throughout the month of February. But it's turned March, and it was a bit of a ropey performance. Going to give him a 5.5 out of 10. And then the 3 players in behind, let's go across it then. So we had Greenwood. It was a bang average performance from Greenwood. Didn't see a whole lot from him. Gets a 5 out of 10 from me. He's young, he's improving, he's got a lot to learn, he's been fantastic, love Mason. He's just an absolute talent, but it wasn't the best performance from him today, to be perfectly honest. Maybe 5's a little bit harsh, but there you go. Let's talk about the other players that were in there then. I'm struggling to remember who played, because they must have been bloody bang average. But let's have a little think. The lineups for the game today. In behind, that's what I mean. It's not a good sign when you forget who was bloody playing out there. I've just watched the game. Oh right, yeah, Bruno Fernandez. How could I forget with Bruno Fernandez? Bruno Fernandez has been an absolute shining light since he's come in, and he's put in a great display again today with that goal. But, it was a bit of a frustrating day for Bruno. He did some great stuff. He really, really did. And in the end, it just wasn't quite enough to influence and pull the strings in United's midfield to the extent that we've seen. But still a good performance from him. He's got the goal. He's going to get a 7.5 out of 10 from me. I think it's a very solid performance from Bruno Fernandes. Scored the goal, of course, pucker. And then, who's the other player? Is that all the players? I think I've gone through all the players now.
Did you say England?
Sorry?
Did you say England?
Igalo came on as a sub late on. I'm not even going to give him a rating, to be fair. It's bang average. But yeah. So there you go. Those are pretty much my player ratings. I think I've done that all and summed it all up. I don't know. Maybe there's somebody I missed. Oh, McTominay. McTominay went off for Matic. For Mata. I thought McTominay done a decent job. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Coming back from injury, what can you say? But there you go. Generally a shithouse performance. David De Gea letting the side down early on. He did go a partial way to making up for that with some of the great saves that he made. But yeah, let's be honest now. United with one of the worst second half performances of the season, if we're being honest now, because the first half was good. We could have gone on and controlled that game and dictated the game and carried on doing what we were doing. We controlled everything in the first half. Ancelotti's made some changes at half-time. Solskjaer's made some changes at half-time. And Everton's changes have been much more effective than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's and Manchester United's, unfortunately. Very frustrating day at the office in terms of the amount of corners that they had. So dangerous just to let teams, let them keep peppering us like that in the second half. Not letting them. We couldn't stop it, though. I mean, they've got Bainesy, they've got Sigurdsson, they're whipping all these balls, and it's very dangerous. Our defenders were tested to the limit today. Harry Maguire's had to make a whole bunch of great saves. But in the end, man, United dropped 2 points. Absolutely gas-tastic. What a freaking nightmare. We could have capitalised on Chelsea bottling it yesterday. We could have capitalised on Spurs bottling it today. But we haven't done that. It's an absolutely David Moyes-esque mare, man. Oh, Batman Knight fan, how you doing? Right, we're going to get into your comment section, lads and lasses. Please do smash a little like on this video if you're new. Let's see if we can smash 100 likes on this video. But Batman Knight fan, thanks for getting in here. Comments, second half United was poor. I think that's putting it mildly, Batman Knight fan. I think second half United were truly bloody gas-tastic. Not really a redeeming feature out there for us at all. We were so piss poor going forward. We barely created. Everton had 9 chances or 10 chances to United 5 throughout that second half. Goes to show you they dominated us. They had 28 more bloody corners than us. It was pathetic in the end from United, that second half performance. Really toothless. Didn't have much in ways of opportunities out there. And I was very disappointed with it. But the first half was quite good. After the De Gea mare, the first half was quite good. Nicola Mrs. Piggy, thank you so much for getting in here. Says, that ref was awful. That ref was truly gas-tastic, babe. It really was. It was a truly gas-tastic ref.
I'm right here, Barry.
I know, yeah. It was an awful referee. What is with this guy? Guy needs to be sacked off immediately, honestly. He's a wind-up merchant.
I thought it was terrible I gave the card at the end.
Yeah, well, Ancelotti's just gone over to say you've done a piss-poor job, mate, and he's gone red card.
If he'd done that to me, I'd be like, do one. You have it.
Gungshi in the house. Thank you very much, Gungshi, with your comment here. He comments and he gets involved and he says, Martial and Greenwood did bugger all. Got no service whatsoever. That's very true. Very true, I do think Greenwood really struggled out there today to get anything going. I think Bruno struggled to really get us going a lot of the time, to be fair. There wasn't really that much in ways of finding players with balls over the top that we've seen recently. Martial's movement off, isolated at times, bit frustrating, having to come a bit deeper to get the ball. You're seeing that quite a lot from Anthony Martial at the moment. It's not really that great, to be fair, And Igalo, when he came on, didn't really offer us much either in the time that he was on the pitch. So yeah, it was just a bit of a frustrating, toothless performance from United. Martial, Greenwood, you're right. Invisible performances from those guys. Bit of a downturn from Fred. Bit of a ropey one from Lindelof. Really poor from Aaron Wan-Bissaka by his very high standards. And calamitous from David De Gea. That's not good. Everyone else has done okay, but you need certainly more than those amounts of players to go and win at Goodison Park, to be fair to Everton. Let's be fair to Everton, Carlo's a very good manager, very intelligent. Come in there, changed their fortunes around in a short space, and now, they're in with a chance still. So fair play. It's a tough place to go at this moment in time. Freddie Ferguson, how you doing? Comments, roll on City now. Yeah, that's it. City game coming up next. Oh, very tough game at the best of times. They're playing at the moment against Aston Villa in the League Cup final. Hopefully this will take a little bit out of them. I don't know. I mean, to be fair, it just goes to penalties, I believe, if there's no extra time. And anyway, it's not till the next weekend. Anyway, but still, though, hopefully Aston Villa. Come on, Jack Grealish, future United midfielder. Smash them up, sunshine. Come on, Jackie Grealish. Anyway. Michelle Vella says, disappointing result. Coaching has to be improved. Let's go for top 4. Thank you very much for getting in here, Michelle Vella. Yes. I mean, if United had just continued what we were doing in the first half, it would have probably worked out a little bit better for us. But you have to take into consideration that Carlo Ancelotti is a very astute manager, very clever manager. He's obviously changed some things up at half-time. I thought Everton's players, they're so hungry out there, man. They really are. Players like Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, they're absolutely chasing everything. So you're up against it already, especially when you're 1-0 down, going away at Goodison. Shame though, big shame in the end, the Blue Scousers getting the best of the play in that second half, and in the end, VAR has come to our rescue. What do you guys think about that VAR incident as well? Little bit controversial, but to the letter of the law, Sigurdsson is interfering with David De Gea's vision. He can't see what's coming at him so easily there. So I think that was the right decision, but some people I noticed in the live chat didn't think that should have been ruled out. They thought that was a stand-up goal because Sigurdsson's got out of the way and hasn't actually had a touch. But because of the visibility being blocked, that's why I think it should be ruled out. Max comments, Ollie out. out. I mean, I don't know if you can blame Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for this performance either. I mean, he is not David De Gea. He's not controlling David De Gea with a remote control out there and making David De Gea do these ridiculous things. Fact is, if that doesn't happen, there's every chance that United go on to win that game. There's every single chance that happens. Either that, or maybe they'd have scored at a later time. United had to get going after they scored that goal. So maybe you saw the best from United in that first half because we went one down. Ultimate Treble says, correct decision by VAR, clear obstruction. I agree with you, to be fair. Debbie Elder says, why aren't we hungry, Pig? Our players should be hungry. I mean, I think most of the players are very hungry out there. I'm looking at Bruno Fernandez. I'm looking at him, and I think that's a hungry lad out there, to be fair. But I agree with you, like, some of the players, sometimes they just don't quite... Like, Marcio up top, they're a little bit frustrating with his movement, his runs and stuff. Like, Rincon touched it in the watch-along. Like, you've got to be looking for those balls from Bruno a little bit quicker, be a little bit more alert, have a bit more better concentration. Because he just takes his eyes off the prize sometimes. And yeah, I'm not quite sure if they're on the same wavelength, but frustrating day for Anthony Marcio, to be fair. Alex says they're not good enough. Tired of saying it. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, some of these players definitely need to be replaced with better players. But still, though, you know, we should have after that first half performance, we should have done better second half. Rudd says he was on the floor and didn't block anyone's vision. Well, that's the other argument to it, you see. But the ball actually did trickle in at a ground level height. So it's taken a deflection and it's gone across the floor. Sigurdsson's got out the way. It would be very hard for David De Gea to really see that. It would have certainly made somewhat of a difference to him because it wasn't in the air. It wasn't over Sigurdsson. He couldn't see the ball the whole time. He could only see it at a certain time there. And who are these twins about to do the national anthem on there? They look like part of the Addams family or something. I know they're very nice looking ladies, but I'm just saying, you know, have they got a couple of gothic operatic singers to do the bloody ceremony at the start of this League Cup final? Anyway, sorry, a bit off topic there. We're talking about the League Cup final. They look absolutely lovely, no worries, yeah. Eddie Otto, thank you for getting in here with your comment. Eddie says, what was that Marcio off and Brandon on thing? I guess Marcio was just absolutely knackered. I mean, one thing I would say is that some of these players look pretty run ragged towards the end of the game. I know we've had a lot of fixtures thick and fast. I know we had that Europa League game the other day, and we were able to rest players to a degree. But still, a bunch of these players have played a lot of minutes recently. And yeah, I think we did look a little bit tired towards the end of the game. So maybe that's why, I don't know. Nice one. Jarvis Cocker says, Harry Maguire was a giant winning every aerial duel. Happy with our defence, General. Hey, Jarvis Cocker, I agree with you entirely. He was definitely the defender of the game today. In terms of man of the match, actually, I mean, my candidates for man of the match, it would have to be Harry Maguire, it would have to be Nemanja Matic, and I guess it would have to be Bruno Fernandez for that goal. But considering Bruno Fernandez didn't do all that much other than the goal, not saying he didn't put in a decent display, he was trying and working his absolute socks off, just didn't quite happen out there for United in that second half for anyone. But what I would say is I'd probably give my man of the match to Harry Maguire. Maybe did I do my player ratings and I said Matic 7.5, Harry Maguire 7.5? Yeah, I'd probably give it to Harry Maguire. I thought he was an aerial boss at the back for Manchester United there, you're right. The amount of set pieces he had to deal with pretty much solely on his own at times, I thought was brilliant from Harry Maguire. Slabby. Yeah, Eddie Otto says Maguire man of the match. He agrees. Thank you. Very, very good shout. Jarvis Cocker, Maguire or Matic. Yeah, I'm glad you guys agree with me and we were singing off the same hymn sheet here. I thought they both put in a really good display. Gary Wells says, not good enough. An unacceptable performance. We melted away in the second half. I agree with you, Gary. It wasn't good enough. We need to definitely improve upon those sorts of performances because coming up against City, you know, you can't put in tepid displays like that with nothing going forward. Sheila Boy comments, the diamond doesn't work with Matic and McTominay. The midfield looked immobile and exhausted in the second half. They definitely did look knackered and run ragged in that second half, to be fair. I thought Matic did a great job first half, though. I was very impressed with him. He did provide the assist, so, you know, I thought Matic done a good job. We'll see. I mean, it just didn't work out. I mean, you say it didn't work, the formation and stuff, but it did work for the first half. It's just maybe you say, as you say, too knackered towards the end of the game. JP comments, Pochettino. By the way, JP, what a result that is for Wolves. Like, let's take a little bit more positivity out of it. It's blown it open because Wolves have actually won and now they're on the same points as us. But if they'd have not won, if they'd have drew, or if they'd have lost to Spurs, Spurs would be ahead of us right now or on equal points with us right now. And I'd rather Wolves were on equal points with us and Spurs were a bit further back. And certainly rather we drew with Everton and stayed in fifth, than Spurs beat Wolves and go ahead of us like that. So, it's not the end of the world, this result. It's terrible. We need to beat Man City, but it's not the end of the world, It hasn't changed that much right now. It's just that we've got a very tough fixture coming up. But by the way, Jose Mourinho, man, I mean, isn't that a bit of a piss poor result for Spurs? Look, I know he's only been there a little amount of time. I know Son Heung-min's injured. I know Harry Kane's injured. If you lose your two best players, you're going to be up against it, lads and lasses. You really are. But still, though, they've got a good bit of talent there. They've still got players like Lucas Moura. They've got players like Bergwijn. Wolves can't compete with Spurs financially in terms of wages, but Wolves' team is absolutely brilliant, you have to say. I mean, some of the talents they've got in there, the Jimenezes, the Jotas, the Neveses of this world, the Traores, I mean, they've got some great players, Wolves, so it's no surprise, I guess. At this moment in time, they're probably a better team than most of the teams in the Premier League, including Spurs. And what I mean by that is the actual team, the way that they play, the connection between the players, the spirit of the players, the effort levels of the players. Wolves, that's why Wolves have been such a massive thorn in our side this season, because they truly have been a great side this season, and that's why they're up there currently occupying 6th place on the same amount of points as Manchester United. So you've got to respect Wolves, but even so, from a Spurs point of view, from a Jose Mourinho point of view, they're absolutely bloody gash-tastic, aren't they, Spurs? Jose's had a nightmare. Come on, he's come in there, he's had a mare, and hopefully this is, it's going to stop them getting top 5. That would be the ideal dream. I mean, the fact is, if you look at the table, there's so many teams that are still in with a shout. Like Manchester United, we're in 5th place on 42 points. Chelsea are in 4th place on 45 points. Wolves are on 6th place on 42 points. Tottenham 7th place on 40 points. Sheffield United 8th place on 40 points. Burnley 38 points. Arsenal in 10th on 37 points. Down to there even, with 10 games left to go. You would have to say that any of those teams, if they put a good run together, could actually get into the top 5. So it's going to be a very interesting end to the season. Hopefully United are going to be on the a positive end of that. We've got to get Champions League. Football's absolutely massive for our season next year and for the summer transfer window and all that business to get top 5 or top 4 or whatever. Champions League football is what we need.
Did you see that goalie's goal kick?
David De Gea, yeah, that's what we've been talking about. That's David De Gea in the goal at the start of the game.
No.
Oh, a minute ago.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't.
No.
We can't have been as calamitous as David De Gea's, though, right?
No.
Anyway, Jarvis Cocker comments, Wolves don't have the squad because of Europa League. At one point, they must choose. That's very true, Let's see how they do. Hopefully, we don't get drawn against them at some point in the Europa League, because I'm not sure if I fancy that one. They're a bit of a bogey team for us right now. Yeah, nice one. JP says Thursday, Man United versus Rooney FC. Very true. Derby County. We got in the FA Cup on Thursday. Very big game, that one. Very interested in that one, just to see, Rooney back playing against Manchester United. It's awesome. I love shit like that. When you get a United legend come back and play a game against us, it's fantastic. When Ronaldo did it, was never too happy to see Ronaldo back there because he's so bloody good. Oh, when, Beckham did it when he was on loan at AC Milan and we smashed them. That was awesome. Who remembers that? When we smashed up AC Milan when Beckham was on loan playing against us. Who remembers that? See, now that was a United side. That was a proper United side. This has got a long way to go. But look, anybody who's got the audacity to say that this is down to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, anybody who's got the darn right hairy cojones to crawl out of their hole and say Ollie out after we drew with Everton away at Goodison, you have your bloody head, mate, because look, David De Gea has made a calamity there. If not for that, we should go on to win that game. He can't account for that. What's wrong with his selection there? He chose one of the best goalkeepers in the world. It's not a bad selection choice, is it? Oh! Chance for Aston Villa, headed opportunity. Almost taking the lead against City in the first minute. Sorry, lads and lasses, getting a little bit distracted by the League Cup final there. Gung Shi, thank you very much for your comment. He says, Pig, my favourite fire in my room is still the first one, the Wolves one. Fair play to you. I think you're spot on there, mate. I think you also commented on the Arsenal one, though, saying, this is my favourite one. So make up your mind, Gungers. Or maybe I'm getting you mixed up with someone else. But either way, no, thank you very much. Yeah, my Everton one, in hindsight, it's a load of freaking crap, isn't it? It was gash-tastic, it didn't have much time to do it, and United didn't win. Why do we even make those fire in my rooms? Like, they literally jinx us. Every single time they bloody jinx us, and I still keep making the shit houses. Like, literally, what am I doing?
Great, what you want
No, but what am I actually doing, though? Because when we make them, we have a mare. When I don't make them, we do okay. It's a nightmare.
People enjoy them.
Ollie out, Man United fan channel comments, Man United a 4th time saved by VAR. Disgrace. By the way, shout out to you. That's Ivan Radicelevich, one of the legends of the channel. He's got himself a channel called Ollie out, Man United fan channel. I don't like the name. I don't like the name of the channel, Ivan, I'll be honest. But either way, you know, you've got your opinions. That's fine. But yeah, saved by VAR again, Ivan. What can I say? Like, shocking that we were required to have that goal chalked off by VAR there at the end. Saved again. Disappointing performance all round second half. You know, Everton actually battered us. They actually peppered us. They actually had us hemmed in. And we're just whipping corners and free kicks and all sorts in. It was a bloody hot mess in that second half for United. Rod thinks Rooney's gonna haunt Man U. I almost read that as Horny's gonna runt Man U then. But Rooney's gonna haunt Man U. Rooney's going to haunt Man U is what you say, and you might be right. You know, I wouldn't put it beyond Wayne Rooney to pop up with a goal. He's obviously player coach there, very influential player. He's still doing bits, to be fair, in the Championship for Derby County. I wouldn't put it beyond Wayne Rooney to pop up and break some United hearts at some point, to be fair. You'd expect United will go and batter them, but Rooney's, you know, he's a very influential player. Talking about set pieces, he's going to be their penalty taker, all that stuff. I've got a feeling Rooney's going to pop up and score. I think we'll beat them, but I think Rooney is going to pop up and score. He's that kind of guy, isn't he? Fair play to Rooney. You know, shouldn't have actually got rid of him when we did. When you look at the years that followed Wayne Rooney's departure, we could have definitely done with that guy. Honestly. Thank you very much, Debbie and Gungshi and JP and everyone else that's still getting in here. Sam Ingram, I want to read your comment out, Sam, who comments, Dear Flying Pig, Manchester need Axel Twanzebe and Timothy Fosu-Mensah back ASAP, and Manchester should be playing Diogo Dalot as a right winger because he would take on players. Very interesting. Yeah, I've always sort of rated Dalot going forward, to be fair, and I like what you've suggested there. I think maybe United are a bit light in those areas. You're seeing Dan James is a little bit run ragged. Today we've had to put Greenwood in a wide area, which he has looked good there throughout the season, to be fair. But in terms of having a bit more pace, taking players on like a Diogo Dalot does, you know, it's a good option for certain types of games. It is for sure.
I've got that Where the Wolves song in my head now.
Matt Lewis comments, have a feeling Henderson will be back pushing for next year. Fair play. Quite possibly. I have a feeling Henderson will be back. Oh, okay, right, because he's injured at the moment, is he? Fair play. In the United says, Ollie at the wheel, top man. You know, don't let this distract from the fact that Ollie hasn't had the most amount of time still, that he's still got a bit of work to do in terms of moving players on and bringing players in. And it's not his fault that there's just errors from certain players out there, I don't think. David Srinivasan comments, we are too afraid to attack. Certainly looked like in that second half. It was a bit poor. Very poor going forward. Everton, they weren't afraid to attack. They got right at us. Batman Night fan says, Bruno and Rooney playing together. Just imagine that. Quite an interesting idea. Freddie Ferguson says, with a better coach, we would have won that game. I don't think so. I don't think so either. You know, the fact is, Carlo Ancelotti's a very good coach at Everton. They've got a good team. It's away at Everton. It's not a terrible result, really. It's just that in context of our season with City up next, we could have done with a win. Most times of the season, you'd actually take that result with how Everton are doing right now. And Solskjaer, you know, as the manager, there's always going to be ropey performances here and there for any manager. There's always going to be losses for any manager, unexpected losses. Look at Jurgen Klopp against Watford last night. Now, Jurgen Klopp's an insane manager. He's done incredible things with that side. That side is incredible. But you know what? They were just beaten on the day. They're outclassed on the day. They didn't turn up on that day. Wasn't their day. You're always going to have days like that as a football player and as a coach and as a team. So you do have to remember that it's not the end of the world. You do have to remember that a lot of it was down to an error, an individual goalkeeping error, which you cannot really account for. So I think that, you know, if we had another coach and they put David De Gea in the goal, it's not like David De Gea's not going to do that. He's still going to do that. So the goal that they scored, let's not forget, they didn't actually score a goal, draw an open play or themselves at all. They have got a goal from David De Gea gifting them a goal. It's piss poor. Technically, it's from open play. You know, I'm not saying it, but I mean from their own play. Pablo Jones says, I'm feeling depressed after this result, mate. Good first half, though. Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's so frustrating. After the De Gea calamity and Calvert-Lewin stuck it in, United played some great stuff. We did. You know, Nemanja Matic was put in the strings. We had Bruno Fernandez looking great. Scored that fantastic goal. And there was a lot of positives to take from that first half. And I truly felt like coming out for the second half, we would kick on and we would take the game to them and we would get the win. I really did. Didn't work out that way in the end. Avian comments, Ollie's tactics were terrible. I'd say they were not good in the second half. Ancelotti's a very well experienced manager, though. Who knows what he did with his players in the second half, you know? But the first half performance from Ole Gunnar's players was actually really good. I loved the way we went about it. We controlled that game. Apart from the calamity, we controlled that first half. It depends which way you look at it. We could have had the job done by half time. Matt Lewis says, I take that all day. Tough ground to get a win in. We have tiny, tired squad. Ancelotti, a good tactician. Tough game, good result. Fair play to Matt Lewis. Always the optimist, lad, and I bloody love that. I'm with you. I do think that, in the end, on paper, it's not actually the worst result in the world because Everton are a tough team, always a tough place to go. Ancelotti, a great coach. It's not like Everton from a couple of months ago when they've been true unadulterated melters all over the place. He's actually done a really good job and stabilised them since he's come in. And they do have good players, they do have good players. Pickford's a good goalie. He showed that today. By the way, did you see that double save from Jordan Pickford, man? Oh, my days. Bruno Fernandez threw on goal. He makes an audacious left-handed diving sort of save to deny Bruno Fernandez. The rebound falls to Odion Ighalo. Is in an absolutely amazing position to just tap it away. And Pickford made the save. Brilliant double save. Think about that incident as well. We should have scored there. Ollie cannot stick the ball in the back of the net for these players out there. So tactically, to blame Ollie tactically and say all that stuff, it's a little bit redundant because we had the chances. He could have stuck that away. Bruno could have stuck it away. Ighalo could have stuck it away. Pickford's made a great save in the end, but if that was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out there, he'd have probably stuck that one away. So it's a strange one, It's just the way it is. It's very, very difficult. I think we're having a little bit of a stream issue here, are we, lads and lasses? Video output low, it says. I'll keep it short and sweet then, because I think this video is about to mess up. Something wrong with the internet right now. I was having a few technical issues before the game. Alfie Mattori says, fair result, support the team. Fair play to another positive comment, Alfie. Respect your opinion. Thanks for getting in here. I agree as well, Okay, it was a bad second half performance, but I still think the United, apart from the error, probably deserved to go on and win that game. It's just that error from David De Gea. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can call me an idiot. Whatever. Sam Ingram says, Dear Flying Pig, Thomas Partey next to Bruno Fernandez would be awesome. Yeah, Thomas Partey's obviously a very good defensive midfielder as well, playing over in La Liga. I'd be very interested to see him come in. I prefer Ndidi, but if it wasn't possible, then yeah, that'd be great. JP says it froze for a sec. Okay, great stuff. Thank you very much. Hopefully we're okay. Michelle Vella says Fred has been playing really well, but he's forced to play all over the place because of the tactics. Fair play, Michelle. Yeah, you've got to credit Fred with his performances recently. He's been doing some great stuff. But at the same time, the tactics have helped Fred recently. Ole Gunnar's utilised Fred's abilities and played to Fred's strengths recently in these games. And we've had Bruno come in, which has allowed Fred, to have a little bit of the pressure off creatively and things like that. And I think he's benefiting from it. So I don't know if it is Ollie's tactics that are the problem why Fred didn't perform today or whatnot. Because think about Fred under Jose. Jose's tactics were awful as well, I guess. But they were defensive and he just couldn't perform for Jose at all. But he has put a good run together so far. Right, lads and lasses, I think I'm going to wrap this video up because it says video output low. I don't want this to be a stinking potato of a video. Yeah, it says video output low on here anyway, but I want to say thank you for maybe there's too many devices connected to my Wi-Fi. That's probably the case. But anyway, Nicola Mrs. Piggy sent a super chat in saying, such a legend, Mr. P. Thank you so much there, Nicola Mrs. Piggy. What is your major malfunction, love, honestly? How many times do I have to say, don't send in super chats? You're literally giving YouTube 40%. Do you know what I mean? I mean, crikey. But anyway, thank you very much for getting in there. Gungshi says, where the F is Wolverhampton on the map? Sorry, babe, I'm speaking here. Bloody hell, Nicola! Try and do a post-match reaction. You don't get buddy Alan Shearer on Match of the Day as Mrs. Pipes up. Hey, Alan, do you mind if I just pipe up with a little bit of information? No! Sit down, love. I'm in the middle of bloody administering some football analysis here.
But if you were on there, I would. I'd call you up and be like, yeah, your missus on the phone.
Anyway, lads and lasses, thanks to you all for tuning in. Please do us a favour before you go. Smack a like on this video. Let's see if we can get this to 100 likes. That'd be sensational. In the end, a shithouse second half performance from United has cost us. VAR coming to our rescue at the end of the game here. It was the correct decision, but still we needed it. Very dodgy second half performance from United. Unfortunately, the first half was very good, but it was sort of undone by giving us that uphill struggle at the start with De Gea making an absolutely bloody De Gea-esque mare. That's a new word I just came up with. Mare. There you go. He's done an absolute bloody Spanish mirror out there. Anyway,
Mirror.
Mirror.
Isn't that a thing? You're
No, it's not a thing. You can be a Mera, which means you've mared, but I mean Mera, pronounced the same as Mera, but to mean basically the same thing as a Mera. Do you see what Anyway, bollocks! I'm going to leave this one here. We dropped 2 points. It hasn't changed that much. We're 5th in the league. We're still 3 points behind Chelsea. We could have capitalised, could have closed the gap a little bit. We've had mares.
Yes.
Also, Spurs lost to Wolves. We could have gone ahead of them a little bit further. We've had mares. What?
Mara.
Right, okay. I'm going to wrap it up there. Gunga says, check my PayPal at the end before I go. Gungshi, mate, what is the matter with you? You are some sort of uncaged animal. The amount of support you show this channel is absolutely unparalleled, sir. You are what we would describe in the industry as a legend. So thank you very much for that, Gungshi. He's commented and said, great commentary, Pig. Hey, thank you so much, Gungshi, for all the support, honestly. And that goes for you, honestly, everybody else who gets in here. You're all bloody legends. Thank you so much. In whichever way you do support this channel, thanks for doing that. You know, whether it's just watching, whether it's liking the videos, subscribing, sharing these videos across social media, and also getting involved in the live chat and comments afterwards. You know, I love it. Please do us a favour, actually. Come back once this video has finished and get your comments in. Let me know your thoughts on the performance on the display out there. Please do have your say in the not live comments. I'll respond to them in due course. I understand, you know, sometimes I miss out people during the live show, and I'm really not trying to do that. JP, Gungshi, Eagle, OTB, Eddie Otto, Jarvis Cocker, Matt Lewis, Nicola, Mrs. Piggy, Freddie Ferguson, Mehdi Naziri, everybody else, you know, really appreciate you getting in here. But sometimes I do miss the odd person out. Viking Red, Junior Red, these bloody legends, you know. Fadilawati Abdullah asks who won. It was a draw, 1-1. Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for stopping by. Enjoy the game. Aston Villa versus Manchester City. Come on, Villa. Come on, Aston Villa. Nice one. You're all a bunch of legends. G Wolf, thank you very much. Cristiano Daniel, Devil of a Red, MT. What a bunch of absolute legends. Please get your likes out. Please leave a thumbs up before you go. If you happen to be new and stumbled across the channel, subscribe. But anyway, I'll see you very, very soon. You've been watching The Flying Pig on Flying Pig United. United draw 1-1 away at Goodison Park. Not the worst result in the end, I guess. Calamities from De Gea, but not good enough to get the 3 points. And we've got City coming up next against us. Calamities!
Okay.
Anyway, what?
Mara.
Oh, just join my sign-off as well. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great evening. You've been watching The Big. Take it easy. And come on, United. Sort your bloody lives out.
Legends, everyone.
Oh, bloody hell.
Legends.
I tell you what, though, babe. I feel so stressed out now. That's the thing with bloody United. It's so stressful, man, when they just don't do the business. It's so stressful. I hate it. No, anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Please do smash a little like on this video. And subscribe. What?
You feel so scared.
I'm talking,
I
babe.
thought you were off.
No, I'm not off. I'm doing the sign-off for the Patreon bit.
Oh.
Everybody, thank you very much for supporting the channel on Patreon. These legends that are rolling down your screen right now. You're true heroes. These are also tier 2 channel members, and a massive shout out as well. I haven't seen him in the show today, but to Mark Dolman at the end there, as you can see, he's actually become a crazy, like, of the channel members. If you look at the channel membership, he's become a crazy. I mean, that's just crazy. But anyway, thanks so much to everybody that stopped by. Enjoy the rest of your day. Unfortunately, United not giving us that happy ending that we wanted. But we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching the channel. Thanks for being a part of the watch along and the post-match show. Stay classy. Love to you all.
Bye.
Peace.